Drafting with Numot is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com and GatheringMagic.com. Explore the game.
Hello friends, Kenji, aka Numot the Nummy, finally back, finally here for another edition of Drafting with Numot. This time, yes indeed, we finally get to play with some Magic Origins. I'm going to go ahead and join one of these drafts. I think there are only Swiss options here, but that's okay. That just means we get to play more rounds, no matter what. This should be exciting. This is my very first time playing with the actual cards. I've looked at the set multiple times, but I haven't actually got a chance to play with them, so you're going to jump in with me and get my initial views, and, well, hopefully my picks aren't too terrible. We'll see, though. Here we go. The draft is online. And we opened a Battlefield Forge. Well, not exactly the rare I was looking to open. It might take me a few moments here. Okay, so immediately I notice, some of the... If you guys watched my top picks video, there are two of the top commons, as well as one of the top uncommons. What does this do? Round 2, whenever a creature you control becomes renowned, draw a card, but it's a 1/3 for 3. So I think I'm just going to definitely take this Whirler Rogue here. 2/2 for 4. When it enters the battlefield, put 2 1/1 colorless Thopter artifact creatures with flying on the battlefield. And then you can tap 2 untapped creatures, or artifacts you control to give creature unblockable. Yeah, I definitely think this is the best card in the pack. Not close. Again, like I said, some of my top picks in this pack. 2 of the best commons, and one of the best uncommons. So happy to take the Whirler Rogue here and see where we can go from there. Man, this card is so sweet. 4 power, spread over 3 creatures. 4 power and 4 toughness spread over 3 creatures, and then the ability to get things unblockable. Let's look at this pack. Okay, we have a Molten Vortex. Card is sweet, but a little bit clunky, I feel like. Elemental Bond's very cool. This is not a card I would want to play. Somberwald Alpha, 4 mana, 3/2. Whenever a creature you control becomes blocked, it's +1/+1 until end of turn. Target creature you control gains trample. Not a bad uncommon for sure. Pricklebore's decent. Rhox Maulers is one of the better common green cards. What is this? Can't attack alone, but it can block, which is interesting. So Celestial Flare's not bad. Oh, this is like the Orcish Oriflamme from super old set. I can't remember right now, but I think the Somberwald Alpha is probably the best pick. You could definitely craft a deck around Elemental Bond, though. But I think Somberwald Alpha is definitely good here. Gonna go ahead and take that and see where we end up going. Okay. Angel's Tomb, Revenant, Shaman of the Pack. Let's see. Enters the battlefield, target creature loses life equal to the number of elves you control. Not very good. Charging Griffin's fine. Evolving Wilds. Kytheon's Tactics is okay. Not amazing. I think probably gonna just take the Rhox Mauler here after taking that Somberwald Alpha. I'm not seeing any good blue cards, though, so just keep a note of that. Might have to ditch that, but Rhox Mauler, definitely a decent pickup. Ooh, Claustrophobia is not terrible. There's a Throwing Knife here. I actually think this card's really interesting. In fact, I think it's quite strong. Let's see, what else? Iroas's Champion is good. Topin Freeblade is okay. Yeah, it's either Claustrophobia or Throwing Knife. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Claustrophobia here. Seems good enough. Blue removal. I already have a Whirler Rogue. Only other card I would consider taking here is Throwing Knife, after the other picks I've already made. Looking good so far. Now remember, I haven't played with this set at all. I've only taken a look at the spoiler. So I'm not too familiar with all the archetypes. I'm sure a lot of you have had more practice than I have, but well, I'm sure I can change that soon enough. All right, what do we got? Ooh, Wild Instincts, another one of my top commons here. Really, really happy to see this go 5th pick. I think that's a really good sign for green being open. There's just nothing else in this pack that I'm really interested in taking. Artificer's Epiphany is fine, not amazing. Another Dragon Fodder, just some other okay cards, but yeah, Wild Instincts is a definite jam pick there. Already have a lot of high casting cost cards. I don't have anything that costs 2 or less right now. So definitely going to want to lower my curve as the draft progresses. Alright, pick number 6, and wow, that is a Citadel Castellan 6 pick. That was one of my top uncommons just because of its ability to end the game very quickly. I'm going to go ahead and take it here over Timberpack Wolf. This might be incorrect, but I think this card is just so powerful. I don't know if I'll be splashing it, but we could definitely be moving into green-white. So I think that's a huge signal seeing that 6th pick. Again, if you're able to connect with this on turn 4 after you've played it on turn 3, it's a 4/5 Vigilance. Like, just imagine you go turn 3 Citadel Castellan, turn 4 you Wild Instincts, right? Killing their only blocker. You hit them for 4, and then your Citadel Castellan gets Renown too. Pretty gross IMO. All right, what else do we got here? Blightcaster is pretty interesting, honestly. I'm not going to take it. I actually think Enlightened Ascetic is decent. Chandra's Fury is not bad. Aspiring Aeronaut's not terrible. It is a little bit expensive, but you get 2 bodies, both of which are flying. I think I want to take the Aspiring Aeronaut. I mean, this, as far as commons go, this is on the low end, right? I mean, the red one's a lot better. The gear upper. In fact, maybe I just take the Yavis Force Mage here or the Enlightened Ascetic. I'll take the Force Mage just because we know we're going to be green. Okay. Not a very interesting pack. Although, Rogue's Passage is really good with Renowned Creatures. I think a lot of people overlook this card. Send to Sleep is not something I want to take, but you never know. Vine Snare. Prevent all combat damage to be dealt this turn by creatures with power 4 or greater. That's not very good. I think I might just take the Rogue's Passage here. We already have a lot of nice fatties that we could get through. Faerie Miscreant, huh? I've heard a lot of varying opinions on this card, and if you have like 4, I think they said, it's probably fine. Nissa's Pilgrimage is not bad. I might just take the Faerie Miscreant here and see what goes on. I don't think any of these other cards are very good. And you know, if I do pick up a decent number of these, maybe it'll be decent. Alright. Could take the Bonded Construct. I mean, again, it can block, but I don't think that's something we want to do. I'm going to actually try out this Warhorn. Alright, Evolving Wild is actually a really good pickup for the Citadel Castellan. Stratus Walk's really good too. Screeching Skaab's a fine filler card. Alright, I think the first pack went really well for us. Looks like green was pretty open. And then we picked up some nice blue cards. Whirler Rogue was our first pick into Claustrophobia later on, but then some filler blue cards that, you know, we can potentially play in our deck. Again, I don't know about this Warhorn, but if I get enough cheap creatures, maybe enough Faerie Miscreants, I might play it. For now, I'm going to leave it to the sideboard. And we'll have to see what pack 3 or pack 2 rather. Pack 2 brings us. Actually, yeah. For being the first pack, we got a lot of playables. Ooh, Goblin Pile Driver. I gotta assume that's worth some money. Let me check this real quick. Goblin Pile Driver. Oh, that's right. It was. Wait, Goblin Pile Driver was in Vintage Masters? Holy crap! I don't even remember that. Okay, well, never mind. It's only worth like 3 or so tickets. Let's look at some other cards here. I guess Suppression Bond's not bad. Like a Arrest on steroids. Watercourser's not terrible. Disperse is okay, but I'm not going to take that. There is a Patron of the Valiant. Probably the best card in the pack. But I don't think we're leaning on green, or rather white. I think here I'd rather just take Watercourser. Actually, Veteran Sidearm doesn't seem terrible. I'm going to go with the Watercourser here. It's probably better to take the Patron, but I think I want to be blue. Mizzium Meddler. 1 blue, 2 colorless flash. When Mizzium Meddler enters the battlefield, you may change a target of target spell or ability to Mizzium Meddler. And it's a 1/4. That's not bad at all. There's a Scab Goliath here, which is pretty good. Another Faerie Miscreant. We can probably wheel that. Pharika's Disciple is very good. 4 mana for a 2/3 Death Touch would already be fine by itself. And the fact that it can turn into a 3/4 is quite nice. Llanowar Empath is also really good. If you guys had a chance to play with this in the, I think it was, let's see, Planner Chaos set. It's basically a 4 mana 2/2 that draws you a card, generally speaking. Not always, of course. I'm going to go ahead and try out the Mizzium Meddler here. It seems awesome. And it's always good to try out the rares in a new set. Alright, ooh, Tower Geist is another great one. I think this card's really good. It just missed out on my top uncommons, just because there are so many other good uncommons. But a 2/2 flyer for 4 that draws you a card is excellent. Right? There's also some synergy because we do have some like Scab Goliath type creatures. Separatist Voidmage also in the pack, not to go unnoticed. Kind of want to build the Dreadwater deck. It seems funny, but not good, obviously. Alrighty. Read the Bones. Stratus Walk, another Mauler. I think we'll just take another Mauler here. Could definitely see myself taking the Evolving Wilds for some more fixing and splash, but happy to take another Fatty. Okay, let's see. Another Force Mage, which is not very good. It's a Lightning Javelin. Again, I don't think Send to Sleep's nice. Calculate counter target spell unless its controller plays 3. Alright, that's not a bad card, but I think I'm going to go ahead and just take the Foundry of the Consuls. I think a lot of people are going to underrate this card as well. I mean, if your mana requirements aren't that heavy, late game this just turns into straight up card advantage. 2/1/1 flyers, yes please. Happy to take that. I really want to see how this card plays out. Zendikar, whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, put a 2/2 green elemental token onto the battlefield. I think this card has some high potential. Obviously it doesn't do anything the turn you play it, if you just jam it on turn 5, but if you wait until like turn 6, play it, and then play your land, you already get a 2/2, right? And then you just get more and more advantage from there on out. If you have like a Roil into Nissa's Pilgrimage, that seems pretty spicy. I'm gonna go ahead and take it and just try it out. Alright, there's a Pharika's Disciple. It's pretty late. It's good. This card seems nice. When Reclusive Artificer enters the battlefield, you may have it deal damage to target creature equal to the number of artifacts you control. Yeah, this is a pretty solid red-blue card, but we're just going to go ahead and take the Disciple here for us. Alright, sideboard Aerial Volley. Seems fine. A lot of good cards. I like our deck so far, but again, I want to lower the curve. Hopefully we will that Faerie Miscreant. I really want to try these out. The like you'd need like 3 of these, I think, minimum, to be okay playing them. We'll have to see. Like if I only got 2 Faerie Miscreants, I would be pretty sad about my position. Alright, next pick. Looks like we wield the Disperse and the Veteran's Sidearm. And you know what? Caustic Caterpillar. Not awful. There are a lot of artifacts and enchantments in this format, but I think Disperse is a good one here. Alright, I think it's the next pack that has the Faerie Miscreant. That's what I'm hoping anyways. Alright, did it, sweet. Wow, I don't think Possessed Scab should wheel. The very worst, it's like a 5-mana Gravedigger. And at the best case scenario, can get back one of your Insano spells. But happily take the Faerie Miscreant. That's what we were looking for. Hydro Slash. Attacking creatures get -2/-0 until end of turn, draw a card. I mean, it says draw a card on it, and it costs 3, so it's already like borderline playable. I'll put it in the sideboard for now. Alright, another Stratus Walk. I don't think I'm going to run 2 just yet. Send to Sleep. Alright, there's that Pilgrimage for our Zendikar's Roil. But this only finds forests, remember. So, it doesn't actually help you fix for your other colors. And right now I'm not sure how tempted I am to splash this, considering I'm going to be running the Foundry and the Rogue's Passage. In fact, it might not be correct to run all of these non-basics, just because Oh, we have some double colors, plus we have early game. Sword of the Animist. Group creature gets +1/+1 whenever a creature attacks. You may search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. That seems pretty solid, especially when I have already doubled Faerie Miscreant and a bunch of other evasive creatures. Other good cards in this pack. Sigilled Starfish is great. Love that card from back in Theros days. Another Claustrophobia, Watercourser's fine, and even Orchard Spirit's not terrible. Alright, I'll try out the Sword of the Animist. It's a little bit expensive, 2 to equip and 2 to cast, but that's alright. Good pack here for us. We have Turnifrog, another Miscreant, Recluse is even fine, and another Separatist Voidmage. And some doggies barking in the background. I'm going to go ahead and take the Voidmage here and wield the Miscreant. A little bit heavy on 4 drops, but I think that's okay. In fact, I might be running this Nissa's Pilgrimage just for some extra land drops. Yeva's Force Mage I'm not too interested in running. Alright, next pack we see another Zendikar's Roil. I'm going to go ahead and take that. I think Elvish Visionary is very solid, but I really want to try this card, and getting multiples means it's going to have a higher likelihood of me drawing them. You know what? That being said, we got one late last time. Okay, I'm going to take the Visionary here and actually see if we can wield this. Plus, this is better for my curve, and I'm going to play it safe. Holy crap, this pack seems great. Scry 5, then reality. Nope, but Bounding Krasis is absurd. 3/3 flash. When it enters the battlefield, tap or untap target creature. That's perfect for us. We would play as many of these as we got past. It's a great one. Alright, Brawler's Plate, Sphinx's Tutelage. Whenever you draw a card, target opponent puts the two cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Repeat this process. There have been some, if you guys have been watching the Turbo Fog decks in Standard, this has been getting a little bit of hype. Artificer's Epiphany, another Caustic Caterpillar. I don't think this is good unless you're going to go all in on that mill route with the Dread Waters and whatnot. And the 6 mana to loot is not that impressive, so I think we'd rather just have the Artificer's Epiphany here. There's another one. That's kind of funny. Alright, so this cycles, and you can falter a creature. That's not awful, but I don't think I want to take it. I'm just going to take a Titanic Growth here. Combat Trickerino. Alright, counter target instant or sorcery spell that targets you. Nope, not good enough. Whenever a creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other creature you control. That's not awful. I think my deck is trying to swarm, but it's not awful. Enchanted creature gets +1/+3 and has reach. It's not very exciting. I'll take the Sigil. We might not play it, but it seems an interesting take. Vastwood Gorger. I think I already have enough beef in top end. I don't need it. I'll take the Negate for sideboard purposes. Now remember, there is a Faerie Miscreant that we're trying to wheel. Alright, Orchard Spirit's good. I'm probably going to end up cutting the Sigil Castellan here. Probably need to cut a few more cards. Probably the Stratus Walk. I definitely want to try out Sword of the Animist, even though it might not be very good. It thins your deck at the very least, right? Oh, you know what? And it works really, really well with Zendikar's Roil, I just realized. Actually, wow, Zendikar's Roil with Evolving Wild is another wombo combo. Okay, we did in fact wield that other Faerie Miscreant, so I'm going to go ahead and run all 3 of them. Now again, I think this is very borderline. I think you want to have, what, 4 in your deck to really be happy, but we're just testing out the waters here. Speaking of wheeling cards, Zendikar's Roil. Pretty silly one. I don't think I want to run 2. In fact, I still need to cut 1 more card here. We're on 24 currently. It might just be the Artificer's Epiphany, which is fine. I already have another card ways, or other ways to get card advantage, I feel like. So we have the triple Miscreant, which can potentially draw cards beyond the first. Visionary draws cards. Sword of the Animist thins our deck. just the Pilgrimage gets land. Tower Geist gets a card. Actually, I guess I don't need to run this Nissa's Pilgrimage. It's probably better to run the Artificer's Epiphany over that Pilgrimage. Even though this, again, combos with Roil. Yeah, we probably want to do that instead. Now the question is, how many of these non-basics do I want to run? I'd really like to run Foundry, and I'd really like to run Rogue's Passage, but again, in a 17 land deck, that means I'm only running 14 colored cards, or 14 lands that produce color. I think that's probably a little bit sketchy. Man, I just feel like Foundry of the Consuls is so good. We're a lot heavier blue than we are green, and we have a lot earlier blue than green. Alright, well, Evolving Wilds is definitely coming in. Now the question is, do I want to run one of these? And I think I'm going to run the Foundry over the Rogue's Passage. Again, a lot of our creatures already have evasion. And even though Rogue's Passage is really awesome with, like, Rhox Maulers, they're already huge anyways. And I'd rather have the ability to get 2 flyers late game than, well, I guess late game Rogue's Passage is probably better than the Foundry. But this is so much value. So much value. This makes me sad. Makes me kind of sad. I think I'm going to run it like this, though, and we're going to go, let's see, we have room for 15, so 8 islands, 7 forests seems fine. I like it. This is the very first deck that I've built and drafted for this format, and I think it's honestly pretty decent. A little bit short on removal, perhaps, but we do have the Disperse, the Claustrophobia, and the Wild Instincts, as well as some random other bounce. A lot of our creatures are very solid. I'm interested in seeing how these Miscreants pan out. I mean, obviously, any hand that has 2 Miscreants in its opener is going to be crazy, but we'll have to see. Let's ship this, and we will see you guys back for round 1 of our very first Origins draft.
Thank you for watching Drafting with Numot. If you haven't already subscribed to Gathering Magic, you can do so to receive news of upcoming videos and discover new content. You can also check out our playlist that contains every episode of Drafting with Numot. And don't forget, you can easily watch the next video by clicking on the annotation on screen or a direct link in the video's description box. And as always, thanks for watching.